What's up, y'all? We back at it with another chapter of Ort of the Flame, chapter 3. And in this chapter, we get introduced to a new character, and I promise you, this guy definitely had me thinking of Gran Torino from My Hero Academia. We do know the author of this series did work as an assistant on My Hero Academia with Horikoshi. So either he helped create that character in My Hero, or he took inspiration from My Hero to make this character that we're about to talk about in this series, man. But make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications, and just let me know down below, how are y'all feeling about this series so far? Are you rocking with it? Are you still like iffy about it? You don't know if you're going to continue? Let me know. I'm just curious to hear y'all thoughts on this new series, seeing how we're 3 chapters in, and for me, I'm enjoying it. Do I like it better than Red Hood? I feel like it's too soon to say, but I don't know. I really enjoyed Red Hood, but with this one, I think I'm gonna need a few more chapters before I could decide whether or not I like it more than Red Hood. But let me know down below, how do y'all feel about it? I'm very curious about it. But of course, the chapter starts off where we have our main character, Ort. He's going off to train to learn how to be a warrior without having to rely solely on his his fire spirit, which, I mean, it makes sense. We all know every character has a training arc, and you have it where Ort is going off in this location to find a man named I'm gonna say probably pronounce it Satin, but when I looked it up on Google, it's pronounced 610 the way it's spelled, and it's a Swedish name, so I'm gonna just say Satin, but you know what I'm saying, because 610 just sounds like I just put 2 numbers together. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me, but you got it where they're going off to train with this guy. They're looking for this guy to train, and then you have it where Ort's fire spirit. She makes herself into like a little chibi, like floating head, and she said, "How do you feel now?" And you have it where Ort says, like, "Yo, I feel a lot lighter." So this right here means that the power he got from his spirit was weighing down on his body. It was like he was carrying weights the whole time, which is insane to think. So his power truly was a burden on him, and it was not only hurting his soul, but eventually, his physical body was going to suffer from that weight. Now, at the same time, it's making it lighter for him to move, but has she remained in her heavier form, would that just make him stronger just for bearing that much weight of power? That's what I'm wondering. Like, that could have been a training in itself. But anyway, you got it where she reduces her size, and then he says he feels a lot lighter now that he's no longer carrying her full weight. And she says, "My flame is a little weaker like this, but it should help you out." But you got it where they're traveling to find, this warrior, this guy that can teach him how to be a warrior. And they find a campsite. Obviously, this is where that guy is staying, and I love how they showcase the intelligence of Ort. Like, he's able to look at the surroundings and tell pretty much what was going on. It was like, judging by how this campsite looked, there's a few things we can learn. The way the wood is chopped up, we could tell what type of weapon this person is carrying. Like, this dude was able to look at pieces of chopped wood and tell what type of weapon the person have. Like, he's really intelligent, and it's crazy because off of the past few chapters, like, I'm not saying I thought he was dumb or anything, but I just didn't know he was that type of super intelligent character. But you got this right here where it just showcases his level of intelligence, even down to the way the person places down their firewood. He's able to tell how their personality is and what type of mannerisms that person would have. Like, that's crazy, and I like that, man. I like that. I like that small details that a lot of series don't showcase. Stuff like this, and that right there in itself can have me be like, I can see this series. I was about to say show, but I can see this series being way greater than Red Hood. It seems like he took the stuff he learned from Red Hood and My Hero and put it together to make this series. But as they're investigating this area, you have it where this big, huge man come out of nowhere, and he pretty much pushes trees out the way. That's insane. Like, this dude just literally just pushed the trees out the way like they were in his way. And that panel alone reminds me of, I believe the guy name was Samson or Samuel from the Bible. He had the real long hair, and eventually he told his secret. It gave him super strength. Eventually he told his secret to a woman, and they cut his hair off. and he was chained up to two big giant pillars. And at the end, he pushes those pillars. He summons up all his strength. He has God to give him strength one last time, and he uses that to knock the two pillars down and make the the building crumble and stuff. So this panel right here just really reminded me of that. Like, it's crazy because that's one of those stories like you learned in church growing up, and it probably in the back of your mind. Then you see something right here like this that makes it just come to the forefront. That's exactly what happened with me anyway. For those who who read the Bible stuff, you get where I'm coming from. But you got it where he looks like a monster when he's doing that, but as you get a closer look, he seems like a more calm and gentle man, gentle giant to be exact. But you got it where he's sitting there, he's eating, he's talking to Ort, and Ort tells him like, yo, I came here to train so that I can be a warrior. And you see where this guy's like, nah, I can't train you. You're way too young. You're just a child. Kids shouldn't be on the battlefield. So I'm not going to train you so you can throw your life away. And I like the way this man, speaks. I like the way he is and how he truly cares about the future. He's like, yo, I don't mind training like a grown man or somebody, how to be a warrior. But to train a child, like, nah, that's not in me. And then it's like the way this guy talks. It's like one moment he's saying this, and then the other moment he's going against, or the next moment he's going against what he just said. So like the way he talks and acts, even though he's a lot younger than this particular character, he totally reminds me of Gran Torino from My Hero Academia. I don't know, just the way his personality, like he'll say, oh man, it's hot over there. Huh? What happened? What's going on? Like, yo, he totally reminds me of Gran Torino. I can't be the only one who feel like this is Gran Torino right here. I mean, yeah, let me know if y'all feel the same way. But of course, you got it where he's accompanied by this young girl who's also training with him. And I'm curious what's her deal, because she looks just as young as our main character, yet she's being trained by him. And you have it where Ort is I guess up to his liking, or as somebody who's too young to be trained by him. So I'm very curious, what does she do so that she can be trained by him, considering he doesn't like to train kids. But you have a way he says he refused to do it. And he says, you know what, I'll give you a shot. I'll give you a chance to train under me if you can dodge this. And you have this cold panel where everything is just dark. All you see is Ort, his flame, and then you just see the giant hand of Satin like reaching towards him. And I don't know why that panel just looks so cold. And he's like, dodge this, but Ort instantly jumps out the way. And you have it where, Satin is like, he's impressed. He's like, yo, most people, when they sense bloodlust like that, they freeze up, they panic, they don't know what to do. I love when any series just like use bloodlust within it, because it's just, I don't know, I just think it's dope. But you have it where he looks at Ort and he says, like, but you were able to overcome that and still move out the way. He's like, you got me intrigued, kid. I like that. I tell you what, if you could land a single hit on me, I will train you. You know what I'm saying? But this is something that takes years to do. Of course, Ort says like, yo, nah, I need to be trained as quickly as possible, because, his people is being invaded by the outsiders. And you got it where he's like, yo, well, I'll do that if you can land a hit on me. And you have it where they're about to engage in battle, and Ort picks up the top of a pan, as well as grabbing a piece of wood that's on fire. And you got it where he goes to fight this this big man, this big giant. And to the naked eye, or to the untrained eye, you would assume that Ort is using the power of his flame. But it turns out he's not using the power of his flame. He just grabbed a piece of wood that was on fire and just grabbed a shield and just set little parts of his outfit on fire so that he could face off against this big giant. And he's like, yo, I don't want to rely on the fire spirit, because I want to prove that I can do it on my own. And then you have it where he talks to his fire spirit and he says like, yo, you told me I had to become a warrior, right? Well, this is the first step in that direction. And you have it where the fire spirit is just looking like, yo, if it wasn't for me, these flames would be burning you up. And he's just like, yo, that's the price I need to pay. That's the sacrifice I'm willing to make. This is nothing compared to what my people had to endure. And I don't know why, man. I just felt like this was such an epic moment. And you got it where he's just holding this piece of log on fire as he goes to face off against this giant. That he needs to prove that he is the sword, and you have it where the giant is just looking at him like, nice. And that's how the chapter ends. Such a great chapter. Really enjoyed it. And just, I don't know, I just like the stuff they're doing with the MC. I like how, you know, he's able to look at an environment, a situation, a setting, and just tell how a person really is. I don't know, I just thought that was very neat and clever, and something we don't see too much of in most series. But just let me know your thoughts on this one down below. And if you like the video, thumb it up, please subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.